What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV and back for another episode of Predict the Prem and the final episode of Predict the Prem, and it is a big one. Not many points in it. First of all, we'll start off with this perspective. We do have 2 games to review, but the way this works, me and my brother go head-to-head in predicting Premier League outcomes. The scores on the doors at the moment are 347 to 339 in Sim's favour, and the way the scoring works, it's 5 points for a completely correct scoreline, 1 point for a correct result, and the star man, once you pick them once, you cannot pick them again, and it's 5 points for a goal, 3 points for an assist. But without further ado, let's get in to the perspective, first of all, with Brighton up against Manchester City. Sim said 3-2 to Brighton. I said 1-1, so I get to claw some points back with a big 5-pointer in this one. To be honest, I think this game shouldn't have been 1-1. It really shouldn't. There were so many chances in this game. I think there were 3 disallowed goals on the day as well. I thought Man City started the game really well, but Brighton really did take control, and I'm really surprised they didn't go on and win this game.
Yeah, it seemed like Man City started strongly. Like Haaland was getting in behind time and time again. They didn't really make the most of those chances. And then obviously they did take an early lead, but once Brighton got back in the game, it was one-way traffic for a lot of that game, to be honest, up until from about the half an hour mark until late into the game. And Ciso, it's all about that goal for Ciso. What a goal. And he's really turning into a proper star in the making now at Brighton. 19
Apart from
years
when
of
I
age.
pick him a star man.
And he goes off early. Whenever, at 19 years of age, I'm not going to be surprised if he doesn't stay at Brighton too much longer with the way this guy's looking. This guy looks like star quality, and they've really looks like they found another gem in Ciso. It was all about that goal, that game. You saw the Man City fans behind the goal. Yeah. They were clapping the goal even before it went in, as the quality of the strike. And obviously that guaranteed Brighton Europa League football, so a really good achievement for them.
Yeah, really good achievement. And you saw what it meant to the players. You saw what it meant to the fans. You saw what it meant to the manager after the game. The celebrations, I think, went late into the night in Brighton. But no, it was a really good game of football, this one. But I get 5 points. Sim gets 0. Let's move on to Manchester United against Chelsea. 4-1 to Man United in their last home game at Old Trafford of the season. Sim went 1-1. I went 1-0. So again, I gain a point on Sim for this one. Again, a really interesting game. I thought it was fairly even at the early stages of the game, and I thought Man United were kind of unjust going in two goal ahead. But after that, I mean, Chelsea just had nothing. But they had so many chances to get on the score sheet. They just couldn't hit target.
Yeah, it was 2-0 to Man United at half-time. That really flattered Man United with some of the gilt-edge opportunities Chelsea were missing. Mudryk is looking like one of the all-time flops with what we're seeing at the moment. I mean, it wasn't just he missed a couple of really good chances, but his touch looks absolutely terrible. He can't seem to control the ball. And I would be a bit worried if I was a Chelsea fan looking at that. But Man United obviously took control. I have to say, Casemiro was absolutely brilliant, scored a brilliant header, and what on a pre-assist as well.
That was unbelievable.
Flick into Sancho. He's shown, and I think that's 7 goals now this season with Casemiro. Is there a better goal-scoring defensive midfielder than him in world football? He's absolute quality. Obviously, Man United, they made it pay in the second half, made it 4-0. Chelsea got a consolation. Lovely goal by Felix, to be fair. But again, another result which guaranteed Champions League football for Man United. So good for them.
Let's talk about Fofana, though, because I thought he got absolutely torn apart yesterday. First, how he gave away the penalty, through his legs, got nutmegged, and then he just put out a lazy leg, a definite penalty. And then for the other one, just got completely rinsed inside the box again.
Yeah, completely, and he was really got done, and it was as you say, terrible attempt at a challenge on Bruno Fernandes as well to give away that penalty. He looked all at sea throughout the game. It was a terrible performance from him. He really needs to get settled because it's been a terrible first year for him at Chelsea.
I got a feeling though Poch is going to make him a really good player because I really believe in his qualities. You saw star quality when he was at the back for Leicester, and I really think Poch is going to make him one of the best defenders in the Premier League. But anyway, now it is the moment with only 2 points in it going into the last weekend of the season. Let's get into our predictions and let's start off with Arsenal against Wolves. I've gone for 2-0 to Arsenal in this one. I think it's going to be a happy ending to the season for Arsenal. A strong performance in their last home game of the season. Wolves, I mean, they've been shocking on the road of late, and I think it's going to carry on. So I've gone 2-0 to Arsenal.
Yeah, I think Arsenal will want to end the season in the flourish front of their home fans. They haven't kept many clean sheets at home, to be fair, so I've gone for them to concede a goal. But I think there's also rumours that Saka might be out as well. I'm just reading Arteta say he's a big doubt, so that could have an impact. But I think at home, in front of the home crowd, with Wolves not having much to play for, I think Arsenal is important for them to finish the season on a victory, so I think they will, 3-1.
Next up, Aston Villa against Brighton. We've gone for the exact same scoreline here, 2-1 to Aston Villa. What's your thinking behind this one?
Yeah, I just think with them having Conference League football on the line, I think they're going to be more up for it than Brighton, who also played on Thursday as well. So maybe there's going to be some heavy legs, although there might be some rotation. But if there is rotation, that could play into Villa's hands as well. And I also think the way Brighton play could help Villa, because they like to sit in and kind of play on the counter a bit and exploit the space, and Brighton will definitely leave some. So I've just gone for Villa to sneak it and get that last European spot.
Yeah, I think obviously this game means a lot more to Aston Villa than it does to Brighton, and with Brighton's Europa League spot already secured for next season, I think Aston Villa will get all 3 points. I mean, they're on a crazy run of form at home. They've won 6 games in a row. Newcastle in there as well. They beat Newcastle 3-0 at home. So I think Villa are going to want this one more. So I've gone for 2-1 to Aston Villa. Next up is a Brentford against Man City. We've gone for the opposite scorelines here. Sim's gone for 2-1 to Brentford. I've gone for 2-1 to Man City, and I feel like Man City will end the season strong with a 2-1 win. I think it'll be a close game, to be honest, but look, even when they didn't play too well at Brighton, they still created a lot of chances during that game. And even with a much changed side, with the likes of Calvin Phillips and Julian Alvarez, still star quality to come in. So I think they're going to get over the line.
I think Brentford up against a much changed Man City side who've already won the Premier League, who also have an outside gut shot of a Conference League spot if they do win this game. I think even without Ivan Toney, I think they can cause Man City enough trouble to win this game. And I think that their solid foundations can cause Man City problems. Man City, I don't know what side they're going to put out, to be honest. With the FA Cup coming up, Champions League final coming up, I do envisage much changes. And I think Brentford at home, they're a very good side at home as well. I think with the crowd behind them, it's a big game in a way, so I've gone for them to sneak it 2-1.
Next up, Chelsea against Newcastle. We've both gone for Newcastle wins, but Sim has gone for 2-0.
Yeah, I think Chelsea, yes, they created chances against Man United, and to be fair, Newcastle have been conceding a few goals recently, but I just think that they'll have enough to keep this really porous Chelsea side at bay and not concede any goals and keep a clean sheet. And I think going forward, they have the forward players right now. They're scoring lots of goals, Newcastle, to be fair, although they did draw 0-0 against Leicester in midweek. I think they'll let the shackles off a bit in this one and get a couple goals. So I've gone for 2-0.
Yeah, I've got a feeling this is going to be a bit of a nothing game, to be honest, with Newcastle's Champions League already secured. You saw the celebrations going on in St James's Park, all players, fans, everyone really celebrating. And I've got a feeling it could be a bit of a hangover in this game, but I do expect Newcastle to win because Chelsea have been that poor in Frank Lampard's last game. So I've gone for only 1-0 to Newcastle. Next up is Crystal Palace against Nottingham Forest in the last game at Selhurst Park this season. I've gone for 3-1. Sim's gone for 3-0. My thinking behind 3-1, I just think Palace are going to have a really strong end to the season. Forest know they're safe, so they got nothing to play for. But I think they can get a goal, but I think Palace will be way too strong. 3-1.
I've gone for, that's one for 3-0. Although there's no Wilfried Zaha, Olise and Eze have been linking up so well the past few weeks. I think they'll put on a show over the last game. And I think Forest's worst away record of the season will continue. And I think Palace can keep a clean sheet to end the season. Maybe probably Hodgson's last game as well. So I've gone for 3-0.
Next up is Everton Bournemouth in a massive game at Goodison Park. Sim's gone for 1-1 here.
Yeah, 1-1.
1-1.
Bournemouth.
You going for Everton to get relegated?
Well, we'll have to wait and see for the other predictions, but I've gone for 1-1. Look, no Calvert-Lewin in this game for Everton. He's going to be a massive miss. Do I see them scoring more than a goal? No. The question is, can they keep a clean sheet? Bournemouth have gone on a decent run of form away from home with scoring goals as well. So I do think they're going to have it in them to get at least one goal, and I think it's going to be a very nervy game at Goodison Park. I'm sure they're going to try and be up for it as much as possible, but I can see Bournemouth scraping a draw here, 1-1.
Wow. I can see Everton winning this one. I think Sean Dyche, he's been there, he's done it, he's got the T-shirt, and I think he's going to produce for them this weekend. And I think Gary O'Neill is firmly going to get Dyche this weekend. They'll find a goal from somewhere, may that be McNeil or whoever it may be, maybe even from a set piece, Tarkowski or something like that. But I think they're going to keep it tight at the back and find a goal at the other end, and Everton to stay up. They know they need to win to stay up for guaranteed survival. So I think they'll do that. And I've gone for 1-0 to Everton. Now let's move over to Leeds against Tottenham. I've gone for 2-2 here. I think this game means obviously a lot to Leeds, fighting for survival, but they know even if they win, they might not even stay up. And I think with their poor defence, Spurs could hurt them down the other end, but I think it's going to be a lot of goals in this one. So I've gone for 2-2.
I think the news coming out about Bamford and Rodrigo is the reason I've gone for 3-1. I think if they had a bit more quality up front to really hurt Spurs, I would have backed them to maybe get a couple of goals. But I just think that lack of finishing ability in the final third could lead to them getting a bit frustrated and throwing some more caution to the wind in a bid to get more goals. That could leave the back door open a bit. And with Tottenham's good quality in the forward line, I think we'll make them pay. So I've gone for a 3-1 win to Spurs.
Right, so as it stands in your predictions, Everton are just staying up, I think.
As it stands, yeah.
As it stands. Next up is Leicester against West Ham. Sim's gone for 1-0 to Leicester. So Leicester to stay up.
I've gone for Leicester to stay up. I think they're playing at home. They're playing West Ham at a very good time right now. They've got a European final to think about, albeit it's still like 2 weeks after the final day. So I do envisage a fairly strong team for West Ham. But it's always going to be in the back of their minds. Do you want to pick up an injury before that big final? So I don't see West Ham being completely up for it. Leicester in midweek got a 0-0 draw away at Newcastle, playing a very different kind of way to how they've approached games recently. And I envisage that they're going to do something similar in this game, keep it very tight, and and this time bank on the fact that they can create more chances against a worse side than Newcastle against West Ham. And I think they should be able to, and they should be able to get a goal. So I've gone for a very tight 1-0 victory to Leicester.
Yeah, I think they know they need to get all 3 points in this game, and I think they might play to their strength, which is going forward with the likes of Maddison, Iheanacho, Jamie Vardy, and the like of that. So, I mean, West Ham is an interesting one because we were sitting here saying similar things like, they might not play well against Leeds because they've got European football. They came out and they won 3-1 in a really impressive victory. And I think that West Ham, they can get a goal, but I do suspect in this massive, massive game for Leicester, with their home fans behind them, they will get the win. But I do envisage goals, so I said 2-1 to Leicester on the day. Next up is Manchester United against Fulham. I've gone for 1-0 to Man United here in their last game of the season at Old Trafford. I think they'll just about get the victory with Fulham, nothing to play for. So 1-0 to Man United.
Man United a week before the FA Cup final. No Anthony, no Luke Shaw. Will they rest people like Rashford with a week to go? I suspect there could also be a lot of changes. Fulham as well, looking for a bit of revenge after getting knocked out by it in the FA Cup when they were 1-0 up, and all of a sudden they found themselves down to 9 men very quickly, and they probably would have won that game. Other than that, Mitrovic as well, back in the team and back in form. And they're in good form as well, Fulham. So I'm going for a surprise 2-1 victory to Fulham here.
All right. And next up is Southampton against Liverpool. We've both gone for Liverpool battering. Sim's gone for 4-0.
I've gone for 4-0, yeah. I think, look, they've ended the season well. It's a big shame for them that they're not going to be able to get Champions League football for next season. And Salah did a statement on his Twitter saying how disappointed he is that's going to be the case. But I expect them to end the season with a bit of a flourish away at Southampton, who are already relegated. So I've gone for 4-0.
Yeah, a bit of a similar thinking. Southampton has just been dreadful all season, to be honest, but especially in the second half of the season, just losing pretty much every game. Liverpool, they've put a good run together at the end of the season, just coming undone in the last game, which is going to cost them the Champions League spot. But look, I can't see anything but a Liverpool battering, so I've gone for 3-0 to Liverpool. Now it is the last star man of the season.
Big star
Let's
man.
see who we got. I knew it was Mo Salah. I knew it. I said it before, it's Mo Salah. Sim has gone for Mo Salah, and I have gone for Julian Alvarez. So, I mean,
Brentford.
Yeah, I'm risking it. I mean, okay. I had a few names in my head, to be honest. I had Mbuemo that I was thinking of. I had Alvarez, and I can't remember the other names that I had, but I had quite a few names in my head, and Diaz and Jota I had as well in my head, but I just sided with Julian Alvarez. I think with the two cup finals for Man City to come, I think it's, I wouldn't say a sure bet for Julian Alvarez to play, but I think he's got a very good chance of playing, and if he's got a good chance of playing, he's probably got a good chance of scoring, so that's my thinking behind him.
Well, Mo Salah wants to end the season with a flourish away at Southampton. I've not used him the whole season, and now's the best opportunity. I can sniff a last day of the season hat-trick for Salah, so I'm going for Mo Salah.
All right, well, yeah, that's not good for me. I'm not going to lie, it's not good for me, but we'll see how it all pans out. We'll be here on the watch long, and we'll be keeping an eye on every single game as the goals fly in on the last game of the season. But let me know your predictions. Let me know who you think is going to win Predict the Prem this year. Will it be me or will it be Sim? Let me know in the comment section below. Thank you everyone for joining us today. Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on you Spurs.